Okay. Here we are. Should be live. Just give me a couple of minutes to double check everything is fine. We're starting very soon. I'm just double checking everything is fine and sharing the broadcast. Okay. Okay, I'd say we're about to start. So we're definitely live on Facebook. I'm checking if we're actually live on YouTube as well. Let's see. Oh yes, we are. Excellent. Now I'm gonna share the link. Oh yes, we are. Perfect. Excellent. Now I'm gonna share the link. Give me a few seconds. We're ready to go. Okay, I'd say we can start. Okay, we can definitely start. So, some of you might have attended my training last week, which was exactly 1 week ago, last Monday, and it was about the basics of Google Tag Manager. So I went through what a Google Tag Manager is and what to use it for, what tags are, what triggers are, what variables are, and so on. Maybe I will start with a quick recap, just so we are on the very same page. And then I'm gonna show you how to implement your very first Google Analytics page view tag, and then the Google Ads conversion tag, which is also very important, and you requested a lot actually in the last week. So first of all, we should log into our Google Tag Manager account, which we saw last week. All right. So we talked about tags, we talked about triggers, variables, and so on. Also, I was using as a test website my own website, and you might remember that I used an extension for Chrome in order to kind of simulate the injection of Google Tag Manager onto my website. Now, first of all, what you should do is previewing your Tag Manager container. So click on this tab, preview. Obviously, provided that the container is implemented on your website, either implemented or quickly. There you go. That's it. You can simply install it from here. Okay. Once you clicked on preview, then you will see this orange tab, and the second thing you should do is go into your website and refresh the page. Excellent. You will see that a small preview panel appears on the bottom of the screen. Okay. Let me access on Facebook. If any of you is asking any question, let me see. Okay. The bottom of the screen. Okay, excellent. You can go ahead. Now, this panel, which is the preview panel, is arguably the most important tool to understand Google Tag Manager and to actually use it, because from here you can actually preview whatever it is happening on your website. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you, which I showed it already last week, is how to implement the very basic Google Analytics Google Analytics page view tag. So as you know, Google Analytics is a very popular web analytics tool, which is used to track the user's behavior on your website. But in order for it to work, you need to implement its tracking code on your website. And this can be done easily via Google Tag Manager. So let's go to Google Tag Manager. I actually created it already, I created it last week, but let's actually delete it and create it again from scratch. Okay. Perfect. So here you are on your Tag Manager container. You need to select tags, because obviously what you need to do is injecting a tag onto your website, which is the Google Analytics tag. New tag configuration, and then here you will have a long list of built-in featured tags. The one you're looking at the moment is the Google Analytics, which is the very first one, because again it's the one of the most popular. There you go. Leave page view, it is exactly what we need. Okay, because we really need to track every single page view on your website. So basically what pages are being visited by our users. Then we need to add a trigger. Trigger basically, as the word says, triggers your tag to work. So basically the trigger tells the tag when and where it should work. For example, you might want to implement the analytics tag on every page, or maybe just some or maybe just some pages instead of every page. So again, just click anywhere here, and then there's a built-in trigger which is all pages. You don't need to do anything, just click on it. It's a built-in trigger. And for the scope of this tag, all pages is 100% fine, because we need to track users across all pages. We can give it a name. So let's say Google Analytics, for example, page view tag. Potentially we might specify all pages. Okay, very good. And then save. Something will happen now, you'll see. Here we go. So it is saying that you must either select a Google Analytics setting variable or set a tracking ID. Now, what you need to do here is basically tell Google Tag Manager which Google Analytics account you actually want to implement. Okay, because you might have multiple Google Analytics account. Every Google Analytics account is assigned to a unique ID. So what you need to do is enter this ID into your tag manager, so you can tell what analytics account you want to implement on your website. This ID is also called tracking ID. Okay, where do we find it? Well, first of all, you need to go to your analytics account. This is the kind of home page. You should go to admin, property settings, actually sorry, tracking info, tracking code. Again, this is a tag manager training, not really a Google Analytics one, but for this purpose we need to go on to Google Analytics. And that's the tracking ID. So tracking ID is also called UAID sometimes, but that's what it is. So all you need to do is simply copy this ID and basically paste it onto your tag. How? You need first of all to create a new Google Analytics settings variable. I'll show you how. Variables, new, variable configuration. Here you have a list of built-in variables. Scroll down and you'll find Google Analytics settings. Here we go. Google Analytics settings variable is really made for this purpose, so you can't go wrong. Tracking ID, you simply paste the tracking ID onto the analytics variable. Now, why it is a variable? Well, because this tracking ID can change potentially. You might have multiple Google Analytics account. You might want to track them maybe at the same time, or you know, at different times or whatever. So then, you know, the analytics ID varies. That is why it is a variable, because you might have multiple Google Analytics account. Okay. Let's call it GA settings test. Now this very same variable, it can be used across multiple Google Analytics tags. Okay, let's go back to tags. Let's create our tag again. Page view, fine. Here we need to click and select our variable, GA settings test. Because as I said, you might have multiple Google Analytics account, therefore you might want to have multiple settings variables, and therefore you need to select which one you want to use for this specific tag, because you might have multiple tags, so you need to select the right one. Trigger, again, we want to trigger it on all pages, and then let's give it just a simple name. Again, let's say, okay, GA page view all pages. Okay, now we're good to go. We can save. Perfect. Okay, now we have implemented our tag. All we need to do now is preview it and double check it's actually working properly. So we need to refresh the page, refresh the preview. Okay, we should go back to our website. And refresh the page here as well. Nice. Now you will see again the preview panel at the very bottom of the page, and you will see that in correspondence of the page view event, page view, you see, our tag would have been fired. Okay. If we click on it, we can see actually more details. We can see the tracking ID. Just maybe double check it is the same that you actually need. So this is 23-5. It is the same, 23-5, excellent. And also you can see firing triggers, all pages. We have a green tick, which means that the trigger has fired correctly, and therefore the tag as well. Now, if you're gonna browse around the website, you're gonna see, the preview will reload as well, and so a new page view event will load, because basically page view equals page load, right? For every page load. And again, our page view tag will have triggered. So you really want to make sure that your page view Google Analytics tag loads correctly on every single page, because that's what you need, because in order for Google Analytics to track correctly the user's behavior on your website, you really want to track the full website. Okay. Let's go to another page as well. Actually, you can see, I think, what page. No, you can see it from here. But all you need to check now is actually the tag has been fired correctly. Tags fired on this event. Let's say contact me page. Okay. Again, you need to click on the page view event, because that's the event we're looking at the moment. Forget about this for now. There we go, succeeded. Our tag triggers here as well. Cool. Any question? Let me double check. Okay, I don't see any question for now. Let me see on LinkedIn just in case. Okay, we're good to go. seems like the broadcast stopped on Facebook, but it is still live on YouTube. Okay. Let me share the YouTube broadcast on Facebook. Give me 1 second, sorry. My god, there's always some problems. Always. 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 Okay. My god, there's always some problems. Always. Okay. My god, there's always some problems. Okay, we can go ahead. Always. So now it is live on YouTube and not on Facebook anymore, unfortunately. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, in order to double check everything is working as expected, we should test it on Google Analytics as well. So you need to go on the real-time report, real-time overview. You're gonna see that actually someone is on your page. It is definitely me because there's only two users probably. I'm not sure why two actually, but anyway, this definitely it's me. It's based in Ireland for sure. So in fact, if you actually click on content, we can see oh yeah, okay, no, it's definitely me. You can see the page I'm visiting at the moment. So let's change, for example, about me, and now we should see. There we go. Let me actually change something very quickly. Okay. So as you can see, the active page changes in real time, which means the tracking is working as expected. Should we change it now? There we go. Then again, let's click on this article. Boost your shopping, blah blah blah. There we go. Okay, so the tracking is working properly. So basically now our Google Analytics is tracking users visiting our pages. Okay. Problem is, we are only tracking page views. So whenever users switch from one page to another, we don't know exactly what they do on the page. For example, we don't know where they click exactly. Okay. For example, the very bottom of my website, you can see two links, right? One for Twitter, one for LinkedIn. Now, if I actually click on one of them, I will go on my LinkedIn or Twitter account. So then the Google Analytics can't track the page load on Twitter or LinkedIn because obviously it's a third party, it's a separate website. So how do we know whenever people actually click on these links and visit my LinkedIn profile or Twitter? When we can track the click on those links. Okay, say for example I might click on this link, Twitter, and I go onto my Twitter page. Okay, but obviously I can't implement Google Analytics on my Twitter. So the only thing I can do is literally just tracking the click on those links. I'm gonna show you how. This is quite essential for Google Tag Manager as well, because from what I'm going to show you now, then you will be able to implement more creative solutions as well. So what we're going to do is tracking a click on your website. Therefore, in order to do that, first of all, you need to create a click trigger. Triggers, new. There you go. Click. We can use the all eminence click, which means trigger an event, whenever a click happens on your website, whatever click, anywhere. And then you can tell what clicks, all clicks or just some clicks. And then we'll see exactly how to filter the clicks that we need. But for now, let's say all clicks, okay? So here we go. Save. Excellent. Let's refresh the preview. So as you might have learned, you need to refresh the preview every time you make a change into Google Tag Manager. Otherwise, you won't see anything happening on your website. Okay, and then also need to refresh your website as well. Cool. Now, if I click anywhere on the website, you will see that a click event happens. You see? I'm clicking just random places onto my website. Okay. But if I click a link, then obviously the page refreshes and the preview refreshes as well. Okay. Let's take the example of the social buttons here. In order for the page not to refresh, you need to press Command on your keyboard or Control on PC. So just press it and then click. And basically the link would have been loaded on a separate tab. And at the same time, you will be able to see the events happened here. Now, what we actually have triggered is a link click rather than just a regular click. This is a regular click, a random click on the page. But whenever you click a link, it is actually a link click, okay? Which, to be honest, is more or less the same thing. Okay, it's still a click. Now, the problem is we want to track exactly the clicks on this specific button. Okay, so we need to filter basically all clicks. We need to filter it down to only this button. Okay, so we don't want to track any click on your website. We want to track only this one. Okay, in order to do that, we need to implement a few variables on Tag Manager and see how they behave. So you need to click on variables and then configure, and we can use actually some built-in variables, which are the clicks variables. We can start by, I say we can implement all of them actually for now and see what happens. Click element, classes, ID, target, and so on. Great. Refresh the preview again. Refresh the website as well. Okay. Press Command or Control on PC and click on the link. There you go. Link click event appears. Select it. There are no tags firing on this event for now. You haven't implemented anything, but what you should do is search for variables. Here you have the list of all the variables that are configured at the moment on your Google Tag Manager account. So you have click classes, empty. We can't do anything with it. Click element. Okay, there's an object. There's a URL actually. We might be using it. Click ID, empty. Unfortunately, click target, empty. We can really do nothing with that. Click text, undefined. So we can't really do anything with it as well. Click URL, another URL. So basically, what you need to do here is look for one of these variables that can be unique to this very specific button. So what is unique for this button? Well, I will say the URL, because only this button, okay, on this website links to this URL. Okay, because say for example this one would actually link to LinkedIn, so it won't have a different URL. Okay, so this is definitely a variable we can use to filter this click. Okay, so I say we can copy this URL, copy, go to our tag manager, go to triggers. This is the trigger we created earlier, the click trigger. We can edit it, and at this point we need to select some clicks. So not all clicks, some. We can select click URL, I'd say, equals our URL. So okay, I had selected a click element before, but it's the same. Now I'm using click URL. Okay, which makes a bit more sense. Click URL. Cool. So now we can save. Refresh. Can refresh our website as well. Now nothing will actually happen on the website for now, because we haven't really implemented any tag on this trigger. So basically the trigger will work, but it will have nothing to do to trigger actually. So we need to create a tag now, which is attached to this trigger. And in particular, what we need to implement is a Google Analytics event tag. Okay, because with Google Analytics events, you can actually tell what events are happening on your website. So apart from page views, okay, anything else is kind of considered an event. Let's try tags. New tag. It's the very same built-in tag. We just need to select a different option. Now I'll show you. So before we used the page view option here, track type. Now we need to change it and select event. Okay. Now, in order to make this event unique, so you can report it on Google Analytics, you need to enter some informations, basically, which are called event tracking parameters. And again, You need them just in order to make this event unique, so you can track it on GA. You can give it a category, an action, a label, a value. Why so many parameters? Well, because potentially you might have many events on your website, and maybe some of them might belong to the same category. For example, here the category might be, say, for example, outbound links. For example, okay. So the category here is all buttons that point to external links. Okay. You know what? External links. A bit more clear. Okay. Potentially you might have multiple, events which are all external links. Action. It is just a second layer of categorization. Or you might call it social buttons. I don't know. Again, it's really up to you. You can call it whatever you want. And label, which is the very lower level, you can actually identify this very specific button, which is in this case Twitter. So say for example we might use the very same category and actions even for the LinkedIn button, alright? And we will just need to change the label. Instead of Twitter, LinkedIn, for example. Okay. Leave it the same. Here, very important, we need to select what Google Analytics account we are going to use. So we need to select the analytics variable that we created earlier. You remember? We created it earlier. So that's why it's very important to have a Google Analytics settings variable, because then you can reuse it across multiple Google Analytics accounts. Trigger the ones we created before. Click, say Twitter, whatever. Again, it's really up to you. Okay, save. Let's refresh the preview. Let's refresh the page on our website as well. Let's see if it actually worked. Let's press Ctrl or Command and click on the Twitter link. Okay, the link click event appeared. Let's select it. Okay, didn't work out. So no tags fired on this event. We need to figure it out why. So this is the tag we're looking at. Didn't trigger. Why? So the click URL was fine, but the event wasn't. Where is it? Okay, this is interesting. So as you can see, the click URL was actually it was a match. Okay. But the event was not. Okay, we need to double check our trigger. Let's try actually to switch instead of a click, all elements click. Let's select adjust links. We'll see. So all link clicks, no. Some link clicks. Save. Refresh the page. Refresh our website as well. Let's try again. Control, click on the link. Okay, the link click appeared. Oh, okay, now it worked. Okay, yeah, so in this case, because it's actually a link click event, we had to select the link click trigger. So you can select the link click, and then you can see the tag actually fired. You click on it, see the green tick. Event category external links. The the GA ID is the correct one, and then as you can see, action social button, label Twitter. Great. Now let's actually make a double check on GA as well. So it should stay in the real-time section and select events. As you can see, something happened. External links, social buttons. Let's click on it again. You might not have seen it. Let's do it again, sorry. Let's do it again. So, control. You know what? Let's even just click on it normally. I click. Something should happen here. Something happened, as you can see. It's actually working. It is 100% working, but I just wanted to see whenever the the GA preview highlights this row. Let me try again, just for presentation purposes. Here we go. You see? So the event has triggered. So now from the behavior event sections, you will be able to report on these events. So you'll be able to tell how many clicks happened on this button. You can also see Twitter, actually, event label Twitter. Right? Okay. Great. I hope this is clear so far. Now let's switch to another subject, which is the Google Ads conversion tracking tag. Now, what is a conversion Google Ads? Well, the conversion Google Ads is basically whatever you want to happen on your website after a click on some of your ads. So whenever a user clicks on your ads, then you want something to happen on your website. It can be a purchase if you are an e-commerce. It can be the download of a white paper, or download of a PDF or whatever it is, or an email sign up, whatever you might reckon valuable. So obviously, depending on what type of conversion you want to track, the implementation can be very different. For now, I'm gonna focus on the easiest one to implement, which is the purchase one, I would say. So whenever users visit a purchase confirmation page, so usually on e-commerce websites, of course, whenever a user completes a purchase, visits a page, which is called usually the purchase confirmation page, so where a user can see, can review all the details of his purchase. First of all, we need to go onto Google Ads and create a conversion action. Here is my test Google Ads account. And what I did was simply clicking on Tools and Settings, and then I clicked on Conversions. And I go to this page. very easily. You need to click on plus conversion, so create a new conversion. Website, app, phone calls, import. Well, obviously in our case it's a website. Category, purchase, add to cart, begin checkout, subscribe, submit. You see, there are several types of conversions. In our case, I'd say it could be a purchase. You can give it a name, purchase test. For now, I'd say we should use the same value for each conversion, use different values, or actually at the moment I would say don't use a value for this conversion because we won't be able to give it a value for now. Select how many conversions to count per each click or interactions. It depends. If it is a purchase, I will say every. In fact, as you can see, recommended for purchases because every purchase is valuable, of course. So basically it means that so if a user clicks on your website, on your ads, and then make more than one purchase, you still want all of them to be tracked, not only one. So maybe the user, only made one click, but then completed 5 purchases. Well, you want to record all 5 purchases for sure, because every purchase is valuable. You can leave the rest the same. Don't mind these things for now. Create and continue. Okay, use Google Tag Manager in this case. There we go. From now on, it's gonna be quite easy. You will need just to copy and paste the conversion ID to your Google Ads tag on Google Tag Manager. So let's copy this ID. Let's go to Google Tag Manager, tags. Let's create a new tag. Google Ads conversion tag this time. So this is a conversion, right? There we go. Easy. Conversion ID. Paste. That's it. Then if you wanted, you could copy and paste even the conversion label, which is this one. Well, actually I think you should. Okay, and for now, as I said, we don't really have a conversion value because unfortunately my website is not an e-commerce, as you can see, it's just a blog, so I can't really make a real life example for now. So for the purpose of this example, that's it. We shouldn't do anything else. This is new. Very good. Okay. Conversion linking, yes. Leave everything else the same. Now, triggers. Let's create a new trigger. We should create a new one, so plus new trigger. Create a new trigger. Okay, now it really depends on how your website works, but for the purpose of this example, I will show you how to implement a conversion tag on the page view of the confirmation page view, basically. So whenever a user visits the the purchase confirmation page on your website, so page view. All page views? No, some page views. Which page views? Well, the ones that has a specific URL. For example, page URL contains confirmation. Okay. Now this is just an example. Of course, on my website I don't have any page with this URL because it's not an e-commerce, again, as I said. If you had an e-commerce and your confirmation page would have this URL, well, then this will be the right way to do that. So save. I need to give it a name, of course, so purchase confirmation page. And we go to go. So we have our Google Ads conversion tag and we have our trigger. Let's give a name to the conversion tag as well. Google Ads conversion tag. And we can save it. Excellent. Now there is no way for us to test it because I don't have any page with the confirmation URL. However, we might, just for the purpose of this training, use another URL. One of the URLs I have on my website. So say for example you want to track as a conversion whenever users go onto my contact me page. So we might use this URL instead. So let's go to my trigger. Test. Sorry, that's actually the wrong one. Purchase confirmation page. I want to edit it. Page URL contains contact me. Save. Refresh the page. Refresh my website as well. Cool. Let's move to another page and we'll see if it actually works whenever. So say a user is visiting my website, is browsing around, and at one point he browsed to my contact me page. So now a conversion should have been sent to Google Ads. In fact, it's actually what happened. Page view, Google Ads conversion tag, succeeded. This is the conversion ID, the conversion label. Okay. Now, there's also another way to double check this conversion was actually sent to Google Ads. We should install the extension called Google Tag Assistant. Tag Assistant. You should just install it. I have it already. What you should do is click on it. I don't think you can see actually the panel that appears here, but anyway, it's gonna be very easy. So you click on it, and then you're gonna see enable and record. First of all, click on enable, and then you can click on record. So then the extension will record your session and will tell you whenever conversions have been recorded. So click on record, and now the extension is actually recording your session. You see there's a small red dot. So let's browse my website. I go to the home page, I go to the about me page, I go to the blog, and maybe on this specific article, and then finally I actually visit the contact me page, which is our conversion. Cool. Now let's view the recordings. You can click on view recording, end the recording and show full report. Excellent. This is the full report of your tag assistant, of your Google Ads tag assistant. Okay. Forget about Google Analytics for now, forget about Google Tag Manager. Let's just focus on the Google Ads conversion tracking. Actually, it seems like it did trigger, as you can see. because it appears here. So recorded page, see everything is being recorded, URL about me, and then this URL, and finally our Google Ads conversion tracking tag. Here we go. It's green, so the color is green, which means the conversion has been triggered correctly. Now obviously this is just an example, and it was quite an easy example as well, but you can definitely use this example if you have a confirmation page. If you don't have a confirmation page, then it's gonna be a bit more complex, but I'm not going to cover it into this training because it's again, it's a bit more complex. All right. You know what? Actually, what I can show you now though is placing the Google Ads conversion tracking on a button, on a click, rather than a page visit. So for example, before we explored how to track this button, well, now potentially we can actually implement a Google Ads conversion tag on this button as well. So say we want to track as a conversion every time a user clicks on our Twitter link. It's actually quite easy in this case. So we should go back to our tag manager. Let's double check our trigger on Twitter. You remember? You see, just links, some links, click URL equals twitter.com, blah blah. Let's give it actually another name so we can recognize it. So click trigger Twitter. There we go. Save. Now, in order to use this button click as a conversion on Google Ads, we simply need to use this trigger on our Google Ads tag. So go to tags, go to our Google Ads conversion tag, and simply switch the trigger. So basically, the question is, when do we want our Google Ads conversion tag to trigger? Well, before it was on the purchase confirmation page, which was actually in our case was the contact me page. Now we want actually to change it, and so let's remove it and trigger on the Twitter button click. Tack. Save. Refresh. Refresh the page as well. Nice. Let's see if it worked. I click on the Twitter link with my command tab being pressed on my keyboard. Here we go. Link click. Nice. So now two tags are actually triggering on this event. The Google Analytics event, you remember we implemented it before, and the Google Ads conversion tag as well. You can click on it. You can see the green tick. Everything looks fine. Let's now use the Tag Assistant Chrome extensions again, just to track this session and see if it actually worked properly. So again, I click on it and then record again. Okay, now it is recording, as you can see. Let's navigate to another page, maybe the About Me page. Let's scroll down. Let's click on the Twitter button. Here we go. Okay, the tag fired correctly. Let's have a look at the report. Here we go. Again, let's forget about Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager for now. Google Ads conversion tracking tag has fired correctly. Here it is. Okay. So whenever you see the green label, it means it has triggered correctly. Now you can go back to your Google Ads account and you can go ahead. Next. You see, it is actually telling you. You can also use the Google Tag Assistant, you know, that's exactly what I've done. Done. Now whenever your website starts getting some conversions, then you're gonna see this label to change. So now it's unverified. See, verifying tags can take a few hours, so you need to wait, you know, maybe even 24 hours sometimes. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Any question? At the moment it's just live on YouTube. I don't see any question. Anyway, you're gonna be you're gonna be able to rewatch the session on YouTube and on Facebook as well. I think that's it for now, and I'll probably see you next week. Bye.